Every action has a reaction. Every villain has a hand behind their creation. In The Invisible Hand, the spectacular Spider-Man reveals the criminal network truly pulling the strings, while Peter Parker faces a new threat made of metal and an unexpected rescue from someone with a wonderful personality. Let's break down Episode 6, The Invisible Hand. It's electrifying! Deep beneath a body shop, Dr. Otto Octavius nervously prepares another experiment, this time on Alex O'Hearn. He explains that O'Hearn will be permanently bonded to a titanium resin armor, a process with no reversal. Hammerhead warns Octavius not to get cold feet, while Norman Osborn reminds him that after the fluke with Sandman, he owes them a success. The machine roars to life. O'Hearn screams, then stands. When the dust settles, the transformation is complete. He's massive, unstoppable, and, as he puts it himself, tough as a rhino. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Rhino.
'Cause the Rhino don't want to keep Spider-Man waiting.
Meanwhile, Spider-Man is doing what he does best, chasing down crooks at 60 miles per hour. He lands on the hood of a stolen car, quipping mid-ride, "Seatbelts, boys! Safety first!" Before things get messy, the thugs pop the hood, the web line snaps, and Spidey's sent flying into traffic. Still, he recovers, webs up the car's engine, and suspends it upside down between lampposts. Another day, another ridiculous car chase. But as usual, no one's paying him for it. For wealth and fame is ignored. It's the action that's his reward.
Yeah, and Spidey's too busy popping big bags to worry about us.
Ta-da! Say my name and I magically appear.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
At ESU, Eddie Brock casually asks Gwen Stacy to the fall formal, figuring Peter's not going. She smiles awkwardly. She knows Peter's got his own complications. Over at the Daily Bugle, Peter tries asking Betty Brant to the dance, but before she can answer, J. Jonah Jameson storms in. He rips into Peter for submitting boring car chase photos, says he wants real action shots, then yells at another intern for getting him the wrong sandwich. Vintage Jameson. When Peter tries again, Betty says she'll think about it. Peter takes that as a maybe, gets way too excited, and rushes home to tell Aunt May. Then he realizes his cut of the Bugle money barely covers a corsage. Talk about broke romance. The next day, Aunt May stops by the Bugle herself to talk to Betty, because of course nothing screams wing woman like your aunt showing up at your crush's job. Meanwhile, at school, Harry has everything figured out. Straight A's, first string football, and a date with Glory Grant. Peter tells him about Betty's maybe, which is overheard by Flash Thompson, who finds the whole thing hilarious. He bets Peter that he won't even show up to the dance, and if he does, it'll be alone. The stakes? Loser dresses as a cheerleader for Halloween. Peter accepts without hesitation, because when it comes to bad ideas, Peter Parker is undefeated. Traffic grinds to a halt as a massive figure stomps toward the Daily Bugle, the Rhino, on his first mission for the big man. He barges through security, rides the elevator up, and smashes into Jameson's office, demanding to know where Peter Parker is. Because if Peter takes Spider-Man's pictures, he must know where to find him. At that very moment, Peter's racing to the Bugle, completely unaware that this is the danger, not Aunt May embarrassing him. Inside, chaos erupts. Jameson tries to bluff Rhino, pretending Peter isn't there. Aunt May, who's visiting, watches in awe at Jonah's bravery. Meanwhile, she tells Betty she's too old for Peter, just as Rhino rips the desk off the floor. Before the situation explodes, Spider-Man bursts in, scoops Jameson up, and webs him to the ceiling for safekeeping. Rhino bellows that he's here for revenge and calls Spidey by name. That's when Spider-Man realizes who's under the armor. Alex O'Hearn, another old enemy, upgraded by the big man.
The spectacular Spider-Man will sign back on after these messages.
Next Saturday,
Bring me Peter Parker!
Spidey battles a brand new villain.
Call me Rhino!
That's gonna leave a mark.
Don't miss the spectacular Spider-Man. Next Saturday morning at 9 on the CW for Kids.
Spider-Man can't make a dent in Rhino. Punches do nothing. Webs snap instantly, so he lets the building do the work, leading Rhino through walls, pillars, and support beams until the entire office collapses. Rhino drops straight through to the street below, standing in a crater, completely unharmed. Police sirens wail as Captain George Stacy leads his men to the scene. He orders Rhino to surrender. Big mistake. Rhino picks up a car like it's paper, ready to crush Stacy, when Spider-Man swoops in, saves him, and draws Rhino away from the cops. Rhino laughs, calling Spidey a coward for running. Then he rips open a fire hydrant to cool off in the spray. The fight barrels through traffic, with Rhino smashing trucks and throwing engines like baseballs. Spider-Man saves a mother and child mid-fight, because priorities? Always. Moments later, Rhino finally catches him and beats him into a sporting goods store. Inside the store, Spider-Man rolls bowling balls at Rhino, Looney Tunes style. It goes exactly how you'd expect. Not well. Rhino crushes through the pins, through the floor, and through Spider-Man's patience. He makes a terrifying threat about mounting Spidey's head as a trophy. Desperate, Spider-Man uses the oldest trick in the book. Wait! Rhino pauses, and Spidey drops an entire stack of weights on him. Rhino bursts out, drenched in sweat, furious and overheating. He tries to unscrew a water bottle to cool off, fails, and smashes it against his face. Spider-Man gets an idea.
He stops to satisfy before smashing me. Unless it's not confidence. Okay, break's over.
Spidey lures Rhino into a maintenance tunnel where the heat skyrockets. Rhino starts sweating even more. His body can't regulate temperature through the armor. Spider-Man tricks him into ramming into pipes, puncturing them one after another, releasing clouds of burning steam. Manhole covers pop off across the city like popcorn. Finally, Spidey points out, "You're bulletproof, buddy, but your face is doing all the sweating for your whole body." The heat gets unbearable. Rhino collapses in exhaustion. Before he passes out, he mutters something about the big man. A clue, and the beginning of a trail.
So, Alexander, tell Mama, who's the big man?
Ixnay, we don't ever use the B word. Call him Mr. Lincoln.
Later, Hammerhead congratulates Norman Osborn, another successful experiment. Norman profits twice. Oscorp gets paid to build Rhino and to build his prison cell. But Norman's nervous. People are asking questions. He wants to lay low. Hammerhead disagrees, threatening to expose Osborn's connection to the villains if he slows production. Norman smirks. There's no proof, unless, of course, Dr. Octavius talks. Before that thought can sink in, Harry bursts in, ecstatic about his grades, football success, and date with Glory Grant. Norman brushes him off without hesitation. And just like that, the seed of resentment grows deeper. Back at the Bugle, repairs are already underway and Jameson is ranting about Spider-Man again. Peter steps out of a closet pretending he was hiding there the whole time. Aunt May is relieved he's safe. But Betty finally admits the truth. She's uncomfortable dating someone 4 years younger. It's a mature moment and a quiet heartbreak for Peter. Still, he gets back to work, asking Fred Foswell if he's ever heard of a Lincoln who might go by Big Man. Foswell says there are rumors about an L. Thompson Lincoln, but insists the man's a good guy. Peter's not convinced. Spider-Man follows the lead to a fancy office building, takes out the guards, and meets Tombstone, a towering, pale-skinned crime lord with a smile that could crack granite. Spidey tries to act tough, but Tombstone beats him down in seconds flat. Then he reveals the truth. Spider-Man's crime fighting cuts into the big man's profits. But when Spider-Man's distracted by supervillains, the rest of the city's crime flourishes. It's business, simple supply and demand. Tombstone even offers Spidey a deal. Get paid to keep fighting, but turn a blind eye whenever the big man says so. Spider-Man flashes back to Uncle Ben and the one time he ignored a crime. He refuses. Tombstone shrugs, picks up the phone, and calls the cops on him. Spidey barely escapes. Angry, sore, and more determined than ever. This isn't just crime anymore. It's war.
Never ran from the cops before. I mean, this reeks. I've won all the battles and never came close to winning the war. But Tombstone did make one mistake. Now I know there is a war. So bring it on.
At home, Peter sulks over losing Betty, losing his bet, and basically losing at life. Then Aunt May tells him not to worry. She's already set him up with a date for the dance, her neighbor's niece. Lovely personality, Peter groans, expecting disaster. But when the door opens, there she is. Red hair, confident smile, total energy shift. She grins and says the classic MJ line, "Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot." The Invisible Hand is the episode where Spectacular Spider-Man truly expands its world. We get a new villain in Rhino, a new crime boss in Tombstone, and a new spark in Mary Jane Watson, each representing a different kind of power in Peter's life. It's action, emotion, and perfect pacing, balancing mob intrigue, superhero tension, and teenage heartbreak without missing a beat. By the end, Peter's learned that every villain has someone pulling the strings, and sometimes that someone's invisible. That wraps up this edition of Plot Pulse, and a big thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out more videos like this one.